to How to Grow a Garden. I'm Scarlett. So today I am working out in the bed, and I'm moving bee balm. This is red bee balm, and bee balm is a little different one plant to the next. Once you get used to it, you'll be able to tell that some of them have slightly pinker roots and some of them have slightly grayer or bluer roots, and it actually goes with the plant. So the red flower has pinker roots and the blue flower has slightly bluer roots, which is pretty cool. So this bed that I'm sitting in right now, it's just a little triangle bed, but it was completely covered in daylilies, which was lovely when they bloomed, but it's not so lovely the rest of the time of year. The Monarda was completely being taken over by the daylilies, which means the daylilies are just growing and growing and growing, and the roots are getting so thick that the Monarda, the bee balm, can't get through, can't get around it, and is completely dying out. So what I'm doing today is I've gone ahead and I've dug the whole thing up. I've taken everything out. So see beside me back here, you can see there's a whole pile, and way over there there's another huge pile. This is all that I removed. Now I'm going to find new homes for that, and it's going to be very happy where it ends up. But this bed is going to be bee balm, red, and I might even bring some blue over here. And I really want to bring over and plant some more echinacea in here, because I think those three things would be really beautiful. And also lupins. Lupins just go everywhere. I love lupins. So that's my plan. But really right now I'm concentrating on the bee balm, and we'll see in next spring if I end up moving things in, or if I can get this entire bed to just be bee balm and really go crazy. And then I'll put everything else I just mentioned right there next to in that little bed over here, which currently has hostas. Which are okay. They look fine. It is under this tree, so that's also good. And of course back here, we've got so many beds in this. There's 20, did we just make a few more? I think there's 26 beds right now. So that's a lot of space. So what I want to talk about today is how I'm doing this. So I've gone ahead and dug it up. Now these are really, really easy to dig up. You just yank pretty much. In fact, there's one right here. Let me show you. So this is the plant, and I'm just going to give it a little yank. And we can see that there's a root here, so it's pretty big. If I just, of course I'm doing this with one hand, if I yank pretty slowly, it will come out. Wow, look at the root system on that one. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is what's happening. So you can see where all these little white roots are. This is because it's growing under the cloth, underneath the landscaping cloth. Now, I can go through here and actually remove the grass. This piece is yellow, not pink, and I know that that is grass. So I'm going to take that out. So I'm not going to simply move it to somewhere where it's got more space and just stick it back in the ground. What I want to do is really hard to show you with two hands. Sorry, with one hand while I've got the camera. So I pulled it off. So that's about as much as I need to put on here in order to put this back in the ground. So each one of these can be divided or taken apart, and I can even cut them into little pieces and plant them. It's really the roots. That's what you're looking for. If you have bee balm roots, you will have bee balm. That is about the rule of thumb. So I'm flattening it out. This is a clamshell. These are really good to have in your garden. They're not so much fun when they're like this. I tend to do it crushed. I buy crushed oyster shells and sprinkle that into the garden. But like this, I tend that they can cut your hand, so I don't like them like that. I can put this in really tight if I wanted to, but I want to allow each piece to have a little bit of space and spread. Yeah, so let's just look at it for a second and see what's going on. There's a main stem down the middle, and then all these little pieces coming off the side. So that one looks okay. So I could just place that and get another one. Okay, like this big one we just pulled out. And you can see that while they're all attached here, they're not attached anywhere else. So you just give it a little yank, a little pull, a little twist, and they're going to come apart. And now I have more like what looks like a spider here. I've got all these different roots going all different directions, and I can pull them off and place them where I want them. Okay, now what I should actually do is do my trenches first. So let's do that. Let's do a trench. Okay, let's put it in there. And we'll do the next one. You can, if you want, go ahead and bury the first one. I like to see where it is, because as much as I think I know what I'm doing, I tend to re-dig up the last line a lot. Something will distract me and I'll forget where I was. So, let's keep going. Here and here. Just put it in. Now, once I've got it all in here, okay, looks pretty good. Now I'm going to come back and carefully cover them up. I want to keep them where they are. I have this in the way because I've already done that side. Push them down on all sides, cover them up. Ta-da. Okay, and that's it. It's that simple. You really just need the root. Now, I could take it if I had scissors, which I do, have them over there. I could cut this, and I have lots of little roots, and I could actually take one piece like this, cut it into, I don't know, 20 pieces, and spread it all over the garden if I wanted to. Just dig it up and throw it in. I'm trying to keep them into a big cluster here. We don't have a lot of red, although this will spread and become a lot of red really quickly. Okay, so in a few minutes when I'm all done and I've taken that away and I've finished with this upper corner, this bed is going to be very, very empty. The leaves are going to fall on top of it and kind of tuck it in for the winter, and next spring the whole thing is going to come up with tiny little leaves. The bee balm is going to start growing, and it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And because I've got so much, because the roots are thick like that, they're all going to spread just like strawberries. They're going to put out their runners in all directions, but under the ground, and then they're going to pop up. The whole thing will be full. It'll be amazing because there's nothing that can compete with them in here because I've cleaned it. There's no grass, there's no weeds, there are no daylilies. These guys are going to be really, really happy. Remember that when you are choosing where you want to plant your bee balm, they do not like competition. It will really choke them out. They need a lot of space for their roots to go in all directions, so the more space you can give them, the more space around them that's empty you can give them, the better they're going to do. They also want full sun, and they want a little bit of air movement. So if it's too stuffy, they'll end up with something called powdery mildew, which is like this grayish, powdery look that ends up on their leaves. If that happens, you can't harvest the leaves for tea, and it's not very pretty, and it's not very good for your plant, so it's obviously something you want to avoid. And when you're watering them, try not to water them from the top, try to water them on the bottom. If you can do like a soaker hose, or if you can get your hose down under the plant so that you're not getting water onto the actual leaves, your leaves are going to be so much happier, your plants are going to be happier, and you're not going to have this problem where you're going to end up with the mildew, the powdery mildew. I'm Scarlett, thanks for watching, have a great day. Toodaloo, guys.